Like my grandmother Gladys Lobbin said, well, sometimes you just have to put down your horns and go through the herd. Speaking of old buffalo, that's what you have to do in this day and age. When adversity hits, no matter how catastrophic it may seem to be, is your beliefs and your spirituality will see you through if you let it. If you let it, and it won't fail you. In the past, in the 90s, when you started this dance, I didn't know exactly why it wanted to come back, but now I do know. That, we're in a great change like the Indians had back 100 and some years ago, 1890s or so, when their life and everything was changing, and the way they lived and everything.
Dramatically and quickly. And they had to embrace that change. They had to, in order to continue on, they had to embrace it and take what they could out of their old traditions and ways, but go on in this totally different life and way of living. And that's what I see happening now, is that same thing. And so this dance is a dance of embracing that change and hopefully continuing. It's a time again, like back amongst the Indian people 100 and some years ago, that we're all having to do that now. It isn't just Indian people, but it's the entire world is going to have to do that. And that's a big thing. That is a big thing.
Yeah, that's a big, big thing. And maybe people like us and other people around the world that are doing things of a similar nature, maybe we can help with that change to ease it along. So that's the thing. So keep the tenets of the Naraya and the teachings of the Naraya in your heart and your mind and your soul. What do you think?
Well, I think one is it's time to do a little work.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to put on a ceremony.
It does.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
And now we're at a time in the world where there's a lot of work to be done. So we're going to have to do a little work.
More than a little.
Well, yeah, right. We're going to have to do quite a bit of work, which isn't bad. And what I mean by that is, we need to connect with each other. We really do. Like, what does it mean to have a dance for all people? Like, what is all people? Right? That's everyone. And that really means connecting with these people that you may not necessarily connect with, because we do share commonalities. And I think we need to really focus on, like, what are the things that we all enjoy together. I was thinking about how, the Trump administration wants to ban a number of national monuments. And so, he said, this is what the people are doing this because this is what the people want. This is the public's land. We give it back to them. And then they got these comments from people like, well, what should we do with it? And 10 times as many people said, save the monuments, as said, get rid of them. So that's 10 times as many people in the public who say, we want this. Right? So we need to stand up for this natural world. And we need to stand up for each other. And we have to come together. We cannot do it all divided and broken apart.
No.
It just won't work.
It won't work.
You can't keep a house that way. You can't keep a family that way. You can't do a ceremony that way. We can't live on this planet that way. It just won't work. It won't work.
So there's got to be adhesive that keeps it all together.
Yeah.
And that's just accepting one's humanity. That's accepting that. And when you get down to brass tacks, we're all the same.
We're all the same.
We're all the same. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, the color of your skin, religious beliefs,
your gender,
none of that. you know, being a human being is sometimes I just shake my head. It's such a strange thing. It just really is. You know, especially at this time. You know, so that's the thing, Rita. And that's what the Naraya does for people. That's what the Naraya does for people. Is it just it brings them all together, like we said earlier, in a commonality that most people do not experience. And that's what people got to remember. And if we want this whole planet to continue in some form or another, I look at my little grandson and I think, you're not going to live in the same world I grew up in. You know, if you don't watch it, it's going to be a time of want and scarcity. People fighting over things such as water, or even a place to live.
A place to live, a house.
A house. You know, in the future there might be mass migrations of people, and where are they going to go?
Where are they going to go? Where are we going to put them? How are we going to feed them? How are we going to care for each other?
Yes. You know. And if you let it, you know, it gets to be an overwhelming thing. And you think, oh my gosh. You know, but we'll see. The only thing we can do is dance around in a circle and say our prayers and continue and hope for the best.
Hope for the best. Pray for the best.
And if we can move things a little towards that end, well then so be it, and it's good. So